Hi everyone, this is Albert Torcaso. I want to tell you that recently I was baptized about 3 weeks ago at the time of this shooting and video, which of course is August the 18th, 2017. About 3 weeks ago I was baptized, and today actually Annette Mendel was baptized, and I just want to let you know, I've been reflecting a lot about what's been going on throughout the planet and, of course, in America. And I have a fire and brimstone aspect of me that could be just as much as any evangelist or minister in a church. And I have to be honest, I do have that Pentecostal and Baptist type of vigor in me. But instead of getting in here and doing that, I simply want to ask all people who believe in a God, whether you are a Christian, a Sikh, a Hindu, a Buddhist, a Muslim, a Jew, a Christian, of course, anyone, whatever your religion may be, if you believe in God, I ask you to legally, peacefully, ethically, spiritually, I'm going to add that element this time, spiritually and financially, to defeat racism, not only in America, but around the globe. And the best way for all of ye men and women of faith is to live it. Every time you have the inkling to be afraid of someone because of their sexual orientation, their nationality, their color of their skin, pigmentation, I want you to ask yourself, if Jesus or whomever you believe in was walking down the street, and what if they were Middle Eastern? What if they were from Iran, or we thought they were? How would we treat Jesus, or whatever you believe in? Or what if they were Middle Eastern and homeless? Or what if they were black and homeless? Or Chinese or Asian of any descent? The point that I'm making is this. What if they were Middle Eastern and gay? The point that I'm making to you, sir, and you, ma'am, is this. If we really have faith, if we really believe in a higher power, a God, or God, the Lord thy God, God of Abraham, Muhammad, whatever, or many gods if you're Hindu, my question is, will you stand up against racism, sexism, genderism, xenophobia? Because here's the thing. We may believe it. We may believe religiously that that person is of sin. That some people may believe that that person is going to go to a condemned place after they die, hell or whatever they may believe in. But my question to you is, how can you believe in Jesus or whomever you believe in? Because the teachings, as far as I know, are to not judge, lest you be judged. So when you find yourself judging someone, I want you to take a conscious effort to say, you know what? If Jesus didn't reject people in his day, why should I? Who am I to reject anyone? We must remember that our enemies and our friends, our family, and our strangers that we meet, all, if we are to believe in a God, all were created by the same God. Even those who became evil, they were not born evil, and they were created by God. Will you stand up to hatred, to racism? Will you work to change the government of the United States of America for the better? And will you work to change whatever country you happen to be in? Now, I speak a lot about a battle plan. And many people wonder, could it actually work? Could it be effective? Could it actually be effective in your life? And I have to tell you, the answer is, of course, it can. Because you have the power. It's not the presidents, not the kings or the queens. We have a spiritual power, but we also have a financial power. And I'll give you a perfect example. I'm going to show you something. This is a cup from a convenience store. And I only had ice in it. I had previously had some soda. This is called Get Go, and it's in the United States of America, in the Pittsburgh, PA area. Now, I bring that up, and you can see it is an actual cup, and it actually has soda. And you might not think that it makes any sense to do that, but it does. You see, I used my power today. I went and had gone into Get Go to buy gasoline. I used my power. I gave them my money to buy the fuel. Yes, I needed the fuel, but there are many, 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 many hundreds of places in the Pittsburgh area where I can get gas. There are many, many thousands of places where I can get water or soda. You see, that's my point, my friends. You have the power. You may never have thought of it that way, but you do. So part of ending racism and making our country better is in your hands every second of every day. Every time you decide to spend or not spend, or how much, you're making a powerful decision. So when I speak about putting away $50 every pay period, taking it out of the American economy, or the Indian economy, or the Russian economy, or the Philippine economy, or maybe Venezuela, or Italy, or for that matter, maybe Japan. You name your country. Taking $50 away every week and just putting it away all the time. Well, hold on, I got a call coming in. It's a scam. I actually have my phone, and actually, when people give me scams, I write down scam or scam likely. Now, the thing is, when they are scams. Now, the thing is, my friends, you have power. The power to put that money away. If locking up that $50 a week every pay period, if that adds up to money, or if you were to put $50 away every month, that adds up to, if you could only do it once a month, that'd be about $600 in your pocket. I want it out of the economy. And yes, we want to hurt our economy. I know what you're thinking. That would hurt people, and unfortunately it would. But here is, my friends, this is what you need to hear. It would be a temporary pain. It would be temporary. But what we would get in exchange would be historic. Whether you live in the United States or whether you live in Peru, United States, Canada, Mexico, maybe you live in Zimbabwe. It wouldn't really matter. If enough people, like 1 million or 10 million or 30 million, do this consistently, your government would change. And in America, we would actually have government of, by, and for the people. Because, see, the thing is, if we affect the economy, every level of government, every corporation, every business, big and small, are going to be worried. And they're going to suffer. And yes, it will cost jobs. Of course it will. But only temporarily. Now, here's the other flip side of that. The positive, the wonderful side. As we would get our economy to change because of the fact that we now are saving money and dictating legally, ethically, peacefully, spiritually, and financially what must happen, what would then happen is, let's say, for example, you work at McDonald's. Let's say it's minimum wage. You're 17 years old or 18. And you're making, let's say you're earning, I don't know, $9 an hour. I'm just hypothesizing. Maybe more, maybe less. Well, what would happen is this. After this great change, McDonald's would need their employees even more. And they would see the value, because if people really put their foot down and stand up, sit down, or quit spending, every company would find money that they claim they don't have. Now, I want to allay the fears of millions of you that are conservative or libertarian or constitutionalist. You might say, we can't afford it. We would close businesses. Let me assure you that you've been deceived. Now, how can I prove it? Friends, this is how. On a conservative radio station called KQV, 1410 KQV. As a matter of fact, I'll put it on just so that you can hear maybe a commercial. I just want you to hear a second of it.
Street back in business around the Frick building, dealing with an accident, left lane, Parkway North outbound.
Now, that is KQV in Pittsburgh, PA, or KQV.com. 1410 AM. That's a conservative-leaning station. They had a report about a year ago that collectively corporations in America, corporations and banks collectively in America, have a surplus, and small businesses included, have a surplus collectively of over $9 trillion. At least 9. It may be 12 or 15 trillion now. Surplus. Make sure you hear what I said. That means money in the bank or money in whatever institution or investments. They have over $9 trillion. Trillion with a T. Or about half of our debt in America. So the money's there. But what it is deception. So here's what my mission, my task for you is. And rest assured, I'm working to do this too. I want you to circulate or spend $50 or more dollars less every pay period. I want you to contact your members of Congress in the United States, or wherever you are, your leaders. I want you to tell them, we can't have this country continue, or whatever country it is, the way it is, because it's actually against what men and women of faith believe in. It's totally against it. We have a Congress right now that wants to cut trillions of dollars in education, in providing food assistance, in health care, in housing, and pretty much everything that every American needs access to. And you might be one of the Americans that are very ultra-conservative, and you say, well, I don't get any kind of access or help from the United States. But the truth is you do, whether you admit to it or if you even are aware of it. There's some things that you get. But this government, this president, and I'm sorry, I can't really call him that, the man in the White House, they want to actually take almost $4 trillion away from things that will help children and save children and people from cancer. They want to dramatically cut down on education. And just so many different things. I mean, it could go on forever. So what can you do? Just you, who may be finally deciding to watch my videos that you haven't watched in all these months or years. What can you do? You can decide to go to your stores. You can boycott them, that would help. Some of them. But realistically, I say go to wherever you're going, but circulate and spend much less. That will get the message across. You call Congress at 1-202-223, excuse me, 1-202-224, 1-202-224-3121. And you ask to speak to your staff member of your congressmen and women and your senators. And you write and you email and you protest. And yes, you block the street if you have to. Whatever it takes to change our nation. Because in America alone, there is a collective $89 trillion in America. And at the same time, there are over 40 million people every day going hungry. Every day. Over 40 million Americans, many of them children. We have the term homeless veteran. Men and women who put their lives on the line to defend our freedom that are homeless. So again, in closing, are you truly a person of God? Are you really a man or a woman of God? Did you really give up your soul for God? Are you a Christian that has gotten baptized? Yes, I'm asking you to really, deep down, nobody will know except you, ask yourself, are you really doing what needs to be done? And here's the thing, I'm not arrogant. I'm not saying that I'm above anybody. No. What makes me different than so many other people is that I'm willing to put myself out there on camera or on TV. I'm willing to ask the questions and say what needs to be said. That's it. But it's not to me to be the glory, it's to God be the glory. Let me say that again. And I love atheists too. I do. I love agnostics. I love people of every faith or not faith. And I would love to see everybody in heaven or paradise when they expire. I really do. That's what one of my prayers really is. But that said, did you give your life to God? And if you did, how can you not fight for what is right? You know, if we're going to worry about money, then we need to put in the equation that there's $89 trillion in America. We need to put into the equation that corporations and banks are holding at least 9 to maybe 12 or 15 trillion dollars in the banks collectively. So we cannot any longer use the excuse that we can't afford it because we've been deceived. And I want to say this in all fairness. Both parties use the American public and deceive the American public. It is not in their best interest for you to know these things. Because if you know the truth, then you will expect more accountability from them. If you knew, for example, that the Republicans who are doing their best to repeal or were to repeal Obamacare actually have government-run, government-paid-for health care. And that is not me saying that. You can find out about the Office of the Attending Physician on your own. And we speak about not having money, but the truth is a lot of these cuts are to give tax breaks to the extreme wealthy and the extreme multinational corporations. Now, this is not some liberal propaganda. It's what they want to do. It's not propaganda when it's true. But more than that, they want to cut trillions of dollars out of Medicaid and Medicare, Social Security. I believe they're going to attack unemployment and workmen's compensation. They're working on the lack of education and so many different things. We are devastating our nation's future. We are destroying our nation's future. So you, woman of God, man of God, I ask you once more, if you truly are what you say you are, what you believe you are, how could you not act? I love you, but I have to say it the way it is. With that, my name is Albert Torcaso. And yes, remember that you and humanity and all forms of life really does matter.